Good morning, and thanks so much for tuning into the Trade Setup with me, Niraj. Shah. Now, did you know, property values are a big part of anybody's life. Bloomberg opinion columnists write that climate risk will lead to 70,000 neighborhoods, not one, not two, 70,000 neighborhoods suffer falling property values at some point of time in the next 30 years. We know that the LA neighborhoods would have lost property values, but they believe 70,000 US neighborhoods will suffer this over the next 30 years. Quite something. I mean, these numbers may change here and there, but quite something to watch out for. Nevertheless, if you're a US resident especially. Global news flow. If you're indeed a global investor, 10-year treasury yields in the US shot up over 4.6% after a very hot CPI report from the US. Indian CPI numbers were okay, by the way, remember. S&P 500 futures tick higher as investors look ahead to more earnings as opposed to just the CPI notes. Oil is down after Donald Trump called Vladimir Putin and Volodymyr Zelensky to discuss the end of war in Ukraine. Didn't sink really, but down about a couple of percentage points for sure. A big positive. I mean, from a humanitarian perspective, this would be great if this happens. So what happened overnight? Dow was down, Nasdaq was flattish. As I said, futures ticked marginally higher. Asia, mixed bag, if you will. So I don't know why ABB India is here. Okay, we have some stocks as well out here, but now this is fine. Nikkei, Shanghai, Hang Seng, a tick of green, if you will. And Indian markets should come up on your screen. A day of resilience yesterday. For now, a flattish start as per the implied open. Now, what's the trade setup on India looking like? The key point is the inflation positives in India are outweighed by the US inflation spikes. The India inflation data looked very promising, very good. I mean, if you are an India inflation hawk, you would be disappointed. If you're a dove, you would be happy. But the US inflation spikes kind of weigh in over that. However, I do think that, so for example, right, BOFA projects that headline inflation will be at 4.8% for FY25, slowing down to 4.1% in FY26. So people are sanguine about inflation in India. This plus the moves on Kotak, ICICI, etc., might just keep BFSI in focus today. So watch out for banks to help the market sentiment in today's session. The one place where I have gone wrong, a lot of others have gone wrong, is that chemical companies, right? Everybody is talking about how the cycle will begin, etc. Maybe it happens in Q4, but Q3 numbers, and today I'll highlight a few of them, very weak set of numbers by a lot of chemical companies. So except one or two or three headline ones, a clutch of others have actually given disappointing numbers. So not quite the quarter that one would have anticipated for a sector which is likely to go up. Nevertheless, stocks in focus, a clutch of them, very important. This one, most important today. RBI has lifted the ban from issuing new credit cards and adding customers for Kotak Bank. And this is a big thumbs up. Now, BOFA, Goldman Sachs rather, has come out with a buy rating, target price of 2141. The current price is 1943. They say this is a significantly positive development. They say it kickstarts a key revenue engine for the bank, improving the visibility on earnings growth. They forecast this bank to deliver 18% core PPOP CAGR over FY25 to 27, which is very strong growth, by the way. Valuation, they say, is attractive. It is trading at a steep discount to its 5-year average price to book multiple. So valuations are good. News is positive. Expect a big gap up in Kotak Bank today. ICICI Bank might be interesting too. JV partner, which is Prudential PLC, plans the listing of its AMC unit, which is ICICI Prudential AMC. ICICI Bank has said that they will retain the majority stake in this one, but a listing of an arm should augur well. So today, on a good day, maybe you see some bit of an uptick in ICICI Bank as well. Ashok Leyland is the third one from the larger ones. They came out with results. I've straight away gone to the brokerage note. Bank of America maintains a buy, hikes the target price to 260. They say it's another resilient quarter. Mix and the product mix and the margin delivery was underrated. They say it's a lot more resilient than anticipated. The truck recovery is on the horizon. They are plugging the LCV gap and scaling up exports and EV investments. So watch out for Ashok Leyland. By the way, viewers, Volvo Eicher commercial vehicle came out with a very good set of numbers as well, remember. So no surprise that Ashok Leyland delivered a good quarter. What was disappointing was Bharat Forge though. Revenues were down 10%. EBITDA lower than estimates. Margins at 17.95, the estimates were 18.2, that's in line. Net profit though, 213 crores versus estimated 303 crores. That's the problem. However, they have partnered with Liber to set up a manufacturing unit to address global aerospace industry demand. Bank of America, though, maintains an underperform. They have cut the target price to 985 from 1100. The current price is 1100. Morgan Stanley's cut the target price to 1350 or thereabouts. So different horses for courses, but the numbers definitely disappointing. Now a slew of good numbers, by the way, viewers, very quickly. Premier Explosives, revenues up 3.7 times. Margins came off a little bit, but bottom line up 5.4 times, 9.22 crores versus 1.71 crores. Small company, explosive numbers, likely to react. Suven Pharma, what a great set of numbers. Revenues up 39%, margins at 38.3 versus 30%. Net profit up 77% at 82 crores versus 46. So brilliant numbers. P and Gadgil, very good numbers. Revenues up 23%, margins at 5% versus 4.7%. And bottom line at up 49% at 86 crores. Again, good set of numbers. And Entero Healthcare, look at those numbers. Revenues up 36%, margins at 3.7 versus 2.9 on this base. Very strong performance. And as a result, bottom line up 3.8 times. Very strong numbers, could do well. Godrej Industries, also very good set of numbers. Revenues up 34, margins at 12.4 versus 7.8, net profit up 77%. Brilliant numbers, could react positively. And two companies where top line was weak, but margins were good. PTC India, revenues were down, but margins 9.1 versus 7.3, as a result of which 63% uptick in net profit. And RCF is the other one. Revenues were down 7.86%, but EBITDA margin up 226 basis points, as a result of which net profit up 627%, 80 crores versus 11 crores. Very strong EBITDA performance. So both of these iffy, but everything else above that, very good numbers. Now the weak numbers. SKF India, revenues were up 15%, but margins, shocker, 9.7 versus 15.8, as a result of which profit after tax down 17%, could get punished. And a slew of weak numbers. IFL Finance, Natco Pharma, Balaji Amines, SH Kelkar, FDC, Orchid Pharma, Godavari Power, Landmark Cars, all of these have had weak numbers, weak margins, and likely to get punished. Look at the FDC margin dipped. So therefore some problems there for a lot of these companies. So keep that in mind. Even Landmark Cars and Godavari Power, not a great set of numbers. Very quickly, two brokerage notes before we wrap up. SBI Cards, Macquarie has upgraded the stock to an outperform rating from neutral, raised the target price to 1,000 rupees, raised the target multiple as well. Watch out for this one. It's a great way to play a rate cut cycle. And Nuvama has upgraded Muthoot Finance to a buy from a reduce. They've hiked the target price to 2,550 from 1,870. So watch out for these two as well. Thank you so much, viewers, for tuning in to today's trade setup.